And we continue to have this big blocking pattern downstream of us with the big ridging out here in the Atlantic and our low off the East Coast or in the East Coast, and then another one down in the Atlantic. So we've got that omega block that'll still sitting out there, and it's really amazing. We've got these winds that are wrapping all the way around this low, and is just going to be very stubborn to leave. Somebody asked the question about if I've ever seen something like this before. Yeah, I have, and but I feel like it's been a while since we've had this big of a blocking system. But nevertheless, what's going to occur eventually is it's not so much this out here, it's this that's just off the map that's going to be coming in and diving in. It's going to be kind of blocked up by all this stuff out to our east. And as it comes on shore, it's going to start to dig out in the western part of the United States. And so as we put this in motion, we see over our area, not a whole lot going on. We kind of remain over the ridge across our region. So the weather is going to be pretty quiet still, as is expected going into the remainder of the week. There is just a weak little trough that swings through a Thursday night into Friday, but it looks like that's only going to bring the possibility of maybe some light rain across the northern portions of our region. But here you can see there's this system that's coming in, getting blocked up by everything out here, and it starts to dig into the west. And that's the potential system. That's the big trough that eventually wants to bring us the change in weather pattern for our area. And so as we look at the surface map, we note that not a whole lot goes on. As I said, through the week, we warm up just a little bit, especially out in the western part of the area. We do warm up a little bit out in the eastern parts of the region in eastern Minnesota as well, but not as much as the western Dakotas will, as we continue to have that little bit of ridging that sits over us throughout the remainder of the week. And then here's that weak little impulse that comes through Thursday night and into Friday morning. Again, maybe just some little light rain showers across the far northern reaches of our area come Thursday night and into early parts of Friday morning. But here you can see that storm system that comes ashore out in the western parts of the United States, begins to dig in, and there you go. There's the big storm that wants to develop. And so this is quite a ways out there. I mean, I'm talking to you, I'm looking at these models here Tuesday night, and we're talking about a storm that's coming up and affecting our area come Sunday and into the early part of next week. So a lot can change by then. The one thing that does look consistent as we take a look, a lot of times what I like to do is show you just the different models and what they're showing at a certain period. So this is Monday morning, and this is the model now on the screen that I just showed you. And here's that low that's coming out and moving into Minnesota with plenty of rain out ahead of this, probably some storms, maybe some severe storms running through the plains in the Midwest. And then this particular model at this point shows enough cold air to bring in and to create some snow on the back end of this system. But as we take a look at some of the other models, the GFS, which is an American model, kind of similar, shows about the same thing right now, surprisingly. But we look at a Canadian model, little different track, more warm air, not as much snow, and yet a different model, a little bit of snow, but not quite as much as these other ones. So what does that mean? That means it's still a ways out there. What we do know is that there very likely is going to be a large system coming through the Rockies and ejecting out into the plains. We just don't know where exactly and how cold the air is going to be on the backside of this. So right now it's just a cautionary tale. We're just letting you know that there is a storm brewing, and we'll keep you updated as we get closer to that time frame and see how these models continue to mold and change the storm throughout time. And as the updates come in, if there's any big change in the forecast, we'll be sure to let you know. So there's a lot to be resolved yet with this storm. It just, at this point, it looks like the confidence is growing that there is a system that's going to be pulling out of the Rockies and moving through the plains of the Midwest. So there's the possibility of snow on the backside of this in the western Dakotas. There's a possibility of even maybe some severe weather across South Dakota and southern Minnesota. All up in the air right now, and as things change, we'll be sure to let you know. So as some of you maybe read on a post earlier today, my wife's grandmother had passed away, so I appreciate all the condolences and the well wishes. So we will try to keep. I will try to keep you updated as best I can with these storms as we, go through this time. Obviously, here with the family. So, but I'll do the best I can. Like I said, as far as getting you any updates and track shifts and stuff like that. But I do appreciate all the condolences. She's very much a sweet, kind lady who only thought of others rather than herself. I was I was young when my grandmothers were around and passed away, and they were older as I was growing up as a child. So, I kind of knew this grandmother a little bit better, my wife's grandmother. So, I very much appreciated having her around for myself, but especially for my daughters. So, yeah, she'll be sorely missed. So, all right, everybody, don't go getting into any trouble.